Now Naaman was a commander of the army of the king of Aram. He was a great man in the sight of his master, and he was highly regarded because through him the Lord had given victory to Aram. He was a valiant soldier. I wish to stop there by now. Up to there, you have heard that the descriptions, the words used to describe Naaman are nice words. Naaman was everything good. Naaman had power. Naaman had prestige. Naaman was victorious. He brought victory. Naaman was great. He was a great man. He was highly regarded. Naaman was a commander. Naaman had position. Who wouldn't like to have position? Naaman was successful. He was a winner. Name them. Everything good was being associated with Naaman, and he was great in the sight of his master. This is Naaman. He was a man who was admired. He was respected. He was envied. Everyone who looked at Naaman wished to be him. They were saying, oh, I wish I was like Naaman, because he had everything that someone who was living at that moment could wish to have. If it's right now, we could say Naaman was a wealthy man. He had wealth. When other people are crying, they are suffering from lack of finances, Naaman had them, the finances. When other people were crying that they are lacking nice dresses and nice clothes, Naaman had them, the nice clothes. He never lacked anything that other people wished to have. This is Naaman. But oh no, when we continue with that verse, we find that the verse is ending terribly. The verse is ending not in the way it started. It started well with good things that Naaman had, but now the verse is ending contrary to how it started. That but Naaman had leprosy. Despite all the good things that Naaman had, but he had leprosy. I could say that Naaman could admire himself and everything he had. Each day he could wish that he would just enjoy the wealth that he had. He could wish that he would just enjoy his power. But no, each and every day when he looked at the mirror and he saw that his leprosy was staring back at him, he was defined by a bad condition by the name leprosy. And the leprosy changed everything that he had. When he could look at his leprosy, he could not remember about his wealth. When he could look at his leprosy, he could not remember his power. His leprosy drained him. He was suffering from a bad condition by the name leprosy. This leprosy made everything good that Naaman had to be meaningless. Everything that Naaman had, which people looked at them and saw that they were meaningful in life, this leprosy made all of that meaningless to him. He could not find the meaning of the good things that he had because of this one bad condition by the name leprosy. I'm told that during that time, leprosy was the worst that someone could have. That these people were supposed to dress in some clothes that could show people that this is a man who has leprosy. And whenever they could approach people who are normal, who don't have that condition, they were supposed to be shouting that, move, I am unclean and I'm fasting. And this was Naaman, the man of power with this condition. With all these things that he had, I want to say that Naaman lacked something because of the one bat that brought this bad condition. Naaman lacked touch because nobody could touch him in his condition. Yes, he had everything, but he lacked touch. And I'd like to introduce my sermon today by saying that if you have everything and you lack a touch, everything that you have becomes meaningless. I repeat that if you have everything and you lack a touch, everything you have becomes meaningless. It's not just any other touch, but I'm talking about a touch from God. A touch from God. and something is telling me to change the title of the sermon from blessed but to the title that said a meaningful touch from God. A meaningful touch from God will change your back. A meaningful touch from God will change you from a man of leprosy to a gracious man, from a man who is great in the sight of the master to a man who is great in the sight of the Lord. Now come with me with this Naaman who had leprosy. He had tried to conceal his leprosy. He had tried to hide this bad condition, but time was moving and the leprosy was continuing to grow and the leprosy was continuing to reveal itself. He could no longer be able to hide this leprosy and he started having stress. He started seeing himself dying because leprosy could even lead to death and he could not see any hope. Then someone, a maid servant, told Naaman that there is someone somewhere who can heal you. And Naaman was willing and he went to receive healing. When he arrived to receive healing, he found the prophet of God, and the prophet of God prescribed to Naaman the medicine that was required for him to get the healing. Friends, this time, this day, this week, this moment, in this life we are living, we have everything good. We have that altar that someone is willing to have. You have that base. You have those clothes. You are blessed with everything that someone is willing to have. You're blessed with all things that other people don't have. But you have that one untouchable condition. You have that one bad condition that makes everything that you have meaningless. Amidst all the things that you have that are good, friends, there is that one condition that redefines you, that each and every day you look at yourself in the mirror like Naaman, you see that something bad reminding you, you feel that one thought reminding you of the bad thing that you did, and your life is becoming distressful, and your life is lacking meaning because of the one bad in your life. I want us to follow what Naaman did today because Naaman had everything good, but there is one but that made his life meaningful. If you feel that your life is meaningful today because of the one but that is in your life, come with me. Naaman went and approached the doors of God. He approached the door where there was the prophet of God, and the prophet of God is prescribing the medicine. The prophet of God did not hesitate. Once Naaman approached the door, the prophet of God did not say even greetings. The prophet of God went direct to prescribing the medicine. And I tell you that if you take that one back to the doors where God is, God directly prescribes the medicine with immediate effect. God does not hesitate. Come with me, carry your burdens to the doors where there is God. Carry your burdens to God, and God is going to prescribe the medicine for you. And Elisha, the prophet of God, prescribed the medicine for Naaman. And he told Naaman, Naaman, go down to the river. And here is the other point, that if you want to take the medicine of God, the direction is down. The direction is down for you to receive healing from God, friends. However bad the direction may seem to be hard, that down is a bad direction. You cannot just tell someone to go down. Down is not a good direction. But here it is, down is the direction to go if you need healing from God. Naaman went down. It means that if you need healing from God this day, you need to be healed of that one bad condition of yours. You need to go down on your knees and say that it's me, oh Lord. It is not my brother, it is not my sister, but it is me, oh Lord, coming because I'm in need, coming in the need of prayer. Down is the direction for us to receive the healing from God. And Naaman went down. But before he went down, he wondered, God, you are just telling me to go and bathe 7 times. This prophet cannot just say a word and I get healing. Friends, our expectations are not God's doings. We cannot expect what God will do for us. Let us go to God with zero expectations. Let us not go while we are having a thought of how God will do it. You don't know how God will answer it. Just go, fully depending on God. And after receiving the prescription, do not doubt. Obey. Obey the prescription, and that bat is going to disappear from your life. I want to conclude by saying that when Naaman went down, after Naaman prescription from God. He went down and dipped himself in the river 7 times. He came back a redefined man. He came back a changed man. He came back a man great in the sight of God. He came back great in the sight of God and not great in the sight of his master as he started, which means that after getting the healing from God, we will no longer be great in the sight of men, but we will be great in the sight of God. Remember that he was great in the sight of men when he had leprosy. He was great in the sight of men. In his condition of leprosy, he was great in the sight of his master. But now, great in the sight of God. You become great in the sight of God when you have already received the healing. When he received the healing, he proclaimed that there is no God. That is becoming great in the sight of God. How do you become great in the sight of God? You become great in the sight of God by obeying what God has told you, like Naaman did. He obeyed and dipped himself. Then he came and declared that there is no God like the God of heaven. So, friends, we should not allow ourselves to be defined by the one bat that is in our life. That one bat has medicine, and the only doctor that can prescribe that medicine for us is the only doctor who is above in heaven, the only doctor who is our God. And the way to go is down so that we can receive that medicine. We need to go down in prayer and ask from healing from God. Ask for healing from God. And after we have been given the healing, let us not doubt and let us not expect that this is this is what God should do. Let us go when we have no expectations. And if we obey, we are going to receive the healing. And that healing is the only touch that we need to redefine our lives. The only touch from God that redefined the man who had leprosy to a changed man is the only touch that you need to redefine that one sin that is making your condition meaningless. Friends, take that one sin to God. Take that one thing that is making you not to gather where other people are gathered. Take it to God. Down is the direction. That thing that makes you untouchable. When people look at you, they cannot touch you. They cannot associate with you because you have leprosy, because you have that one bad. Take it to Jesus today, and down is the direction, and you're going to receive healing. I conclude by saying that a meaningful touch from God, a meaningful touch from God can redefine our lives from sick men to healed men, from lost men to saved men. Let us go down to God and say that it is us, O Lord, and nobody. It is us in the need of prayer. Touch us because we are desperate. Touch us and remove our bats. Touch us and make us clean. Touch us and heal us, oh God. Remove the bad in our lives so that we can become completely blessed and great in your sight. May you be blessed all in Jesus' name.